Hey guys, welcome to my kitchen. My name is Rachel if you're new. Today we are going to be making homemade hash browns. In our family, we loved hash browns from a restaurant, and so I tried to recreate them at home. It's cheaper that way. You just have to buy some potatoes and shred them and cook them up. But the problem was they weren't turning out quite like the restaurant potatoes. So we played around with it a little bit and we figured out what made them better. So come along with me as we make our own hash browns. The first thing you want to do is figure out what potato you want to use. I like russet potatoes, but you could play with Yukon Gold or even red potatoes. I really like red potatoes. The Yukon Gold I found are a little bit softer, but they kind of have a buttery flavor. So see what you like. Let's go wash up these potatoes. Now you could totally peel your potato if you don't like the flavor of the skin that it gives to the hash browns, but we don't mind it, so I'm just gonna scrub these really well. I'm gonna use a food processor with the shredding blade in it. But if you don't have one of those, I've even used a box grater. It's just a little bit more work, but it still works just as well. I'm gonna take my potato and I'm gonna cut off any parts that might be yucky. I'm gonna slice it down the middle. I'm just trying to get it down to a size that will fit down my chute. I ended up using 6 potatoes. I'm going to shred them up in my food processor. Our potatoes are all shredded up now. Here is the secret. My potatoes, my hash browns were turning out so gummy. You know how you go to the restaurant and you have these nice crisp hash browns and they're not gummy in the middle. It's because of the potato and all the starch in it. So what I used to do is I would cook them just right from here. But my secret is we're gonna soak them in some cold water for at least 30 minutes. But if you're in a big hurry and you don't have the time to soak them, you can rinse them even in a colander. You're just trying to get all that starch off of them so that they don't get gummy in the middle of the hash browns. Yeah, you see all that white stuff? That's the starch from the potatoes. Alright, now I'm just gonna leave my potatoes and let them just sit here for about 30 minutes. Alright, now that our potatoes are soaked, we're gonna put them in a colander. And then we're gonna rinse them under cold water. Again, if you're in a rush, you could skip the soaking step and just go right to here. This will help a lot as well. Right now I'm gonna try to push out all the water. I'm gonna place the colander right inside of my bowl just so it can continue to drain while we're getting our pan heated up. I've got a 10-inch cast iron pan. You want to have a good heavy bottom pan, something that has a lid on it. And in my pan, I'm gonna put a couple tablespoons of butter. Everything's better with butter, right? The problem with just doing butter is it can burn very easily. So we want to add in some olive oil. The two mixed together work really well because you get the butter flavor, the better cooking temperature with the olive oil. All right, and now I'm going to get this heated up. All right, our pan is nice and hot. I'm gonna grab a handful of potatoes. Be careful not to splash yourself with that hot oil. Now, I don't want to overcrowd my pan either. I don't want to get the potatoes too thick because that's another way that they can get gummy. So I did about half of our potatoes in there. I'm just gonna pop the lid on. I'm gonna check them in about 5 minutes. It's important not to start messing with them, like flipping them over. Just let it sit because it's so nice to get that really crispy, crunchy layer. I know it's tempting to touch it, but don't do it. All right, they've been sitting for 5 minutes on about medium-high heat. So let's peek at them. They're not as brown as I would like, so I'm gonna go for another 3 minutes. Ooh, look at how crisp they are. Yeah. Once I've gotten them flipped over, I'm gonna season them. Now potatoes can take a good amount of salt, but do it to your family's liking. And then I'm gonna go in with some pepper too. You could play with your spices. You could add garlic or onion powder to it. But we're gonna keep it simple today. I'm gonna put the lid right back on it. I'm gonna let this side go for 3 minutes and then I'll peek at it. And let's peek on this other side. Ooh, they look good too. See how they're nice and golden brown on the other side too? All right, to do the next batch, I'm gonna just add a little bit more oil to my pan. And I'm gonna add just a little dollop of butter. Now my pan is already still hot, so I'm just gonna go right in with my potatoes. And again, be careful not to get that hot oil on yourself. I'm gonna pop that lid back on and let it go for another 5 minutes. All right, let's take a peek at it. All right, it looks good to me. Ooh, look at that nice golden brown. I'm gonna add some pepper and some salt to it. And set it for 3 minutes. All right, let's take a peek at it. Oh, it looks nice and crispy. So So now I'm gonna shut off my heat and pull it out of the pan. You can have restaurant style hash browns in your own kitchen. I found that this way I can have perfect hash browns just about every time I cook them, except if I get distracted, which sometimes they burn, but shh, we won't talk about that. It really helps me if I set a timer. That way I know when to come back to the pan. Now I hope you guys will give this a try. Let me know down in the comments below if you do. Anyway, thanks for coming and cooking with me in my kitchen, and we'll talk to you guys again real soon. Bye-bye now.